Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One. I have been very silent in the last week or two on the issue of gun control and the pending legislation that could be coming very quickly. Been silent for a few reasons. Been thinking about it, been praying about it, been just trying to figure out where my line in the sand is. And really, there's not a line in the sand. A line in the sand is something that can easily be moved, and that's what we have done. That line in the sand keeps getting moved, and we keep giving ground. As a patriot, as an American, I can't give any more ground. My back is against the wall, and I owe it to our future generations to not a line in the sand, but a line in the rock, permanent line in the rock. We have people in this country that no longer trust us. They're in elected officials, and there is no trust. They do not trust us. And they're in a position whereas 300 plus million people give them the authority, give them the power to govern us. In doing so, we expect them to honor the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and that these provisions give us. They give us certain protections, and then we willingly give them the power to govern us. I am all for government. I love government. Government is a stabilizing influence in our lives. It is supposed to be there to stabilize, promote what's right in society, and to take care of us to a point where people know how to act. And if they fail to act, government comes in and corrects the situation with laws. But any law that they pass that say, hey, you cannot have a firearm, you can't have a magazine, or you have to do registration, fingerprinting, they have stepped over the line. And really, it's not an object of what they want to ban. It is a trust issue. They no longer trust David. They no longer trust you. And when they do that, they break that contract. It's hard to have a contract. It goes both ways. So my government does no longer trust me with a so-called assault rifle or a high-capacity magazine or a standard capacity magazine, however you want to word it. They don't trust me with firearms. So the contract that we have, that I let them govern me, could be broken very soon, because I could be a criminal. I got a call 2 days ago from a guy in England, and I talked to him for a little bit. He told me, he made me feel terrible, sad for his country. He said his country's not even worth fighting for anymore. They have given up everything. He said he'd rather come to the United States and stand with us and fight this gun legislation. I felt sorry for him. There's a lot of good people in England, but they've gone down the path that I hope we don't go down. So what are we going to do? Well, first of all, there's a lot of petitions out there. Sign the petition. Remember, sign that petition, but that doesn't clear you of additional stuff. You got to keep doing things. Don't say, well, I signed a petition and I joined the NRA or Gun Owners of America. Yeah, you need to do that, but then you need to keep fighting it and go forward and keep going. This is a battle for my children. This is a battle for your children, so they can enjoy. Let's just forget about the why firearms are so important to us, as in the sense to keep tyrants, to keep the government in check. Just, it is fun to go out there and shoot. Responsible target practice is awesome. I totally enjoy it. I want my children to enjoy it. I want my grandchildren, when they come, to enjoy it. They might not be able to. People are saying, well, government's going to disarm us. Government's not going to disarm us. The government's going to pass what they say is a legal law that I object to. It's not a legal law. It's not something that I have to obey. But if I fail to obey it, then there's consequences. Are you willing to take those consequences? They would be severe consequences. I've drawn my line in the rock. So let's hypothetically say the assault weapons ban, restrictive gun control passes. What are you going to do? Well, publicly, I will not obey it. Now, am I going to just hide my guns? I will be ready to cache my guns, not to just not have them, but you have to make sure, worst case situation, you could place your gun in a position where people can't get it. If they come to your house and they catch you by surprise, they will take what you have in your house. So you have to have a place to put those weapons. Yes, don't put all your weapons away. They might be needed very soon, but make sure you can safeguard those so they won't be easily taken from you. The government is not going to disarm us. That will be your decision. You will disarm yourself. If you go along with it, yeah, you might turn your weapon in, or you might register it, or whatever they make you do, you're going to do that. If you truly believe that whatever legislation they pass is illegal and immoral and wrong, unconstitutional, don't disarm yourself. You don't have to obey a law that's unconstitutional. But remember, there's consequences to that action. You better be ready to accept those, and that could be jail time. It could be confiscation of your property. It could also mean, if certain of us, you might lose your job because influence of these people might put pressure on your employer. So there's a lot of consequences. Remember, there was consequences for those guys that signed the Declaration of Independence. If you study up on them, a lot of them lost their family, lost their wealth, lost loved ones, lost their children, lost everything. But they made a stand. I pray we don't have to make that stand. I hope this legislation will be defeated. But if it's not, call your representative. Join the organizations that are fighting this. Be very proactive. If we do lose this fight, what you need to do is we need to immediately take this fight to our states. Call every state representative and say, hey, you represent me. You know our rights are being violated. What are you going to do about it? Get our states involved. Some states might make a challenge to it. Some states will just go along with it. This country is filled with two different peoples. People that are definitely pro-Constitution and people that don't really care. They think it's just a piece of paper that can be changed. The Constitution is not changeable in my book. That's the contract. I have this contract with the government. I let you govern, but I have these protections. If you take these protections away from me, the contract's no longer valid. It's void. And we don't want to go down that path. That's an ugly path. So, do what you can. If we lose this battle, take it to the states. You might even have to take it to your sheriff. Contact him now. Contact him if we lose the battle and say, hey, you know where I live. I am a good American. I obey the laws. I pay my taxes. But I'm not going to turn in my weapons. Hopefully sheriffs will say, you know what? We don't want citizens to turn in their weapons. Maybe they will help us. Sheriffs have a lot of power. They are a powerful person in our community. Pray for your sheriff. Pray that he will do the right thing. I don't know what's going to happen, but publicly, as a former U.S. service member, as a person that has sworn many times to protect the Constitution, that's what I have to stand. Now you might say, well, you're talking tough right now because you're sitting in your living room on your nice comfortable couch. Hopefully it never has to come to that. But I feel we're being pushed in that direction. Do everything you can to stop this legislation. But if it can't be stopped, then there's decisions that will have to be made that will have terrible consequences. But, you know what? They might have good consequences too. Long live the United States. Pray hard, prep hard, and I think we'll get through this together. But it's going to be rough. if we lose this legislation. Thanks for watching.